I'm Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
And I'm Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. Nice to meet you. My name is Jarrett.
The first question is, was becoming an author always your dream?
Becoming an author was always my dream. When I was a kid, I loved to be creative and I loved to draw characters and I loved to write stories for those characters. So it is something I always wanted to do.
And the next question is, what inspired you to write books?
I love to use my imagination, and so whenever I was inspired by a book that I would read, like say The Mouse and the Motorcycle or James and the Giant Peach, I wanted to also create my own characters as well.
What are you most comfortable writing? Picture books, graphic novels, or chapter books?
Well, I write in all three of those formats. And what I'm most comfortable with is telling stories with words and pictures, where words and pictures tell the story together.
If you were not an author, what other job would you have?
I would be an artist in some way, whether I was writing or not, or animating or drawing for other people. I would be an artist in some fashion. Which
book that you wrote is your favorite and why?
Well, I don't have a favorite book of mine. I mean, that's like sort of asking a parent who their favorite child is. You know, if a proud parent loves all of their kids the same, and an author loves all of their books the same, so I really couldn't choose one over the other.
How did you come up with the characters, and are they based on any real people?
How did I come up with the characters?
Yes.
Of which book?
Any book.
Okay, well, name a book and I'll tell you the story.
Baghead.
Baghead. Okay, so Baghead, the image of the boy with the paper bag on his head was actually from a different book that I'd written, and that book was called Josh Had a Bad Haircut. And the story just didn't really work, and none of the publishers were interested. But I always liked, there was this one image of the boy who he wore a paper bag on his head, and he was walking to school with a paper bag on his head. And so eventually that book was written based on that picture. All of my books start with some kind of sketch, and I'm usually sketching out the character before I'm worried about writing the story for them.
Which author's book do you like reading the most besides yours?
I would say Beverly Cleary's The Mouse and the Motorcycle is my all-time favorite book.
How much writing do you do in one day?
Well, every day is different for me. You know, today finds me here at your school, so I'm not going to be in my studio today working on books, but my mind is always going. So, you know, on the drive here, on the drive home, I'm thinking about these other stories that I want to write.
In the book Platypus Police Squad, you dedicate the book to 3 girls. Who are they?
That's my wife and my 2 daughters.
If the editor edits the book and says, I want to change these certain things, what do you say?
Well, I have to listen to their advice. I mean, if it's something that I very much disagree with, I can argue my case, but the editor wants what's best for the book. So when the editor comes back and says they don't like a particular aspect of the story, they're coming from a place of wanting to put the best book out there possible. But if I didn't listen to them at all, I would have really terrible books.
That's it.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for chatting with me today. Thanks, guys.